Yes, just apologies from Councillor Corcousin.
Declaration of interest, if I can remind members to make any declarations to disclose of pecuniary or personal interest that they may have in relation to items on this agenda. I have a declaration to make in respect of, on page 16, 5192365, development of net shop garages, and declaring a personal pecuniary interest in my capacity as a district councillor. This is a district council planning application for property they own, and in the interest of transparency, I will be leaving the room for that item. I've asked Councillor Nicola if she could just chair for that one item. Anybody else got any declarations? No. And then we'll move on to minutes of the meeting of the Planning Committee held on the 1st of October 2019. I think, Councillor Nicola, you had a small amendment.
Just a small amendment. I wasn't at the Conservative conference.
No, so that's why you were on holiday.
Right, okay.
There was some misinformation fed through there.
Fair enough.
We will change that.
I wasn't at the Conservative conference.
Apparently.
Let's put that as a matter of record.
So I don't know how that crept in, but you were on holiday. I think that's fine.
Right, okay, yes.
We are now taking all.
Thank you.
Item 4, public questions in accordance with standing orders.
No.
No. I think we've had a letter of objection in respect of.
We have, yes. So a letter of objection has been received following the issue of the agenda, which is for Banbury Cross at
We have two members of the public here in respect of the planning application for Banbury. Which page is that on? As we have...
17.
Yes, two members of the... members of the public here for that item. Are you content, councillors, that we take that item first, so that you don't have to spend the entire evening here?
Were you wishing to speak, or you wishing to speak?
Really, we just wanted to say how it goes.
There's an opportunity for you to
So
speak.
if you wish to speak, you may do so for 3 minutes to put your point of view. But you need to do it now if you want to at the beginning.
No, we're fine.
Okay.
Right, okay, if you can just bear with me just a moment, I'm just going to gather the drawings, the maps in front of you that are relevant to this application.
Councillor, you will see the letter of objection.
Yeah.
Yes, I circulated the whole thing.
Yes, I just have seen it, just to make sure that everybody has seen it.
Right, so that we don't swamp the table, I will keep back the elevation, so the floor plan drawing, and we can just focus on the elevational. So if anyone wants to see the floor plan that I've got in here.
Have you got a street scene?
There is street scenery just there in front of Councillor's Rachel Group. And then I think just to also assist the certainty, I've got the application here for the last application for Street 2 Cross Lane, which gives a much more detailed floor plan, site plan of the locations. The drawings that came with this for that property would show vastly, particularly clear layout. the ones that they have depicted on here is old, and there have been further extensions done to the street.
Have you spun that out around?
No,
Is it about more
what for
the current one?
no, it's just a much larger
Right.
footprint with and it's a garage that extends out.
Okay.
There's actually the existing floor plan there for the house as it is at the moment.
Was it pulled up on the screen as well, or you?
I think the street view might be helpful.
Yes, put on the street view on the screen, please, thank you.
So, I do know where this particular house is, and it's pretty well screened by trees at the moment. I know, 'cause it's the way I walk up to the common. Yes.
Okay, did you want to start, councillor?
I'm happy to start. It would be useful to use
But would you like to wait for the view to come in?
view, I think. With the sort of
Yeah, it's got a delay. So the said plot is behind
these
these
trees.
trees here, so you can sort of get a glimpse
The-
of the existing. But other than that, there's nothing more to see in relation to this particular plot.
At the summertime.
This is June 2011, so it is the same, yeah.
I do know where this particular house is. It is a fairly standard structure, and what you can see is roughly what you can see from the street. The house next door, number 2, I think it is a much is obviously also an in-build. You can see the style of it. Right. Okay. Yeah. That's number 2. From whom we've received the objection
Yes,
letter
I think
as
the
circulated.
if we can get
Yes,
to the
yes,
lady gentleman
today.
here tonight.
That's right, is it?
Yes.
And the house there, as you can see, is a fairly new in-build. The house next door, as I say, is a fairly much more standard type of house. And now, for the first time, having seen these plans for that new house do appear at least to be somewhat in character with the one that you can see that has been built there next door. So, I think I'm right in saying this, aren't I? This is the number 2 one.
This is
And
number
the one
2,
we're looking
yeah.
at is the one you
Yeah.
can't quite see behind the tree.
It's strangely number 8. I'm not quite sure how the numbering works, but this is number 8
Right.
on claim, but it is the one that's next door.
They're very odd.
I don't know.
Very odd. So, it's pretty well shielded from the current property, from this number 2, and from the road, and there has already therefore been an infill built here. So it isn't out of character. I think we should probably just consider the objections that have been raised. Is that right?
Well, yes, you can take them into account, look at them, yes,
Yes.
so, yes.
Something,
I'm sorry.
Just have to guide us.
what I was going to
Yes.
say, something to bear in mind from this image that's here is that there is actually an additional single-storey garage extension has been added to
Added.
this
Yes.
that we can see here, which extends out to
Oh, added to this
added
one.
to this is
Right,
number 2,
right,
so
right.
which is partly
Right, I
why I
understand.
wanted to bring the plans before number 2 that we've got permission, which shows the garage that extends over sort of the existing cars that you can see there, the red one and the black one in the
Right.
distance.
Yes, just obviously to my...
Does that bring that closer to the actual border of
So,
the
Yes.
house that we're
Yes.
talking about then?
So just to mind everybody, so just basically just look at this and you look at it purely in terms, of course, of planning
Yes.
in both district policies and the neighbourhood plan.
Yes, this is what
So basically what you're looking at is how this application fits or otherwise with policies as set out.
If I may, Chair, there's a mention in the officer observations that the 4 trees being removed and being replaced. Can I assume that they're being replaced in accordance with the policy with 8 trees?
there is, it does state that there are going to be replacements, but there are no details of the exact locations and species that they're going to be. But it is worded within the design and access statement that there will be a replacement of trees, but there is no visual indication as to exactly where they will be.
Is there an indication as to the number of replacements?
I will double check that, but I'm fairly sure that it was sufficient. I'll just check that. This is my notes. Right, you carry on and I'll have a little look.
You should, Andrew.
Okay, well, I was wondering about the tree. The tree was on my as well. It refers to the fact the plot is in a conservation area. Now, can someone just remind me what the rules are relating to the conservation area, development in the conservation area?
Well, there is specific policies that are in the district plan which relate to the conservation area, but I'm not sure there are specific policies in the neighbourhood plan.
No, I couldn't see one, no.
No. So there is policy 85 in the district plan, which is obviously what this application will be gauged against. So there is specific to that, but not actually mentioned specifically in the neighbourhood plan.
So does it comply with the conservation order?
In a sense, yes.
Okay.
So yes,
What do you-
generally, so conservation area really relates to soil materials.
Yeah.
And not being detrimental to the surrounding area. So, you know, they come into kind of like the details as well as the conservation area. But in terms of the conservation area, based on the neighbourhood, the district plan, yes, they do comply.
Right. Okay.
Can we just have a look therefore at on the front elevation there is a dormer to the side which would appear to overlook the garden of number 2, which is one of the questions that was being raised, and the other one relates to the distance between. Now, I'm not sure what the rule is on the distance to the boundary. This garage is already, which has been inserted by number 2, is already very close to that boundary. So they've made that decision to insert something so close to that boundary. So I'm not so convinced that it's a reasonable argument to say that someone can't develop so close to the boundary on the other side of the boundary. I know the arguments about precedent, I'll accept that. Just commenting on it, there would appear to be a little bit of an overlook from one of the dormer windows. However, having said that, if it complies with the conservation area policy and the trees policy, and this building is therefore actually more in keeping than the current one with the other buildings surrounding that site, you can see it is of similar style to the one next door. I'm sure an architect will tell me slightly differently, but it looks to me it's similar style, and it's not therefore too dissimilar either from the ones as you walk further up and down Cross Lane. So I don't think it damages the overall view of the of Cross Lane or the view from the common. Though, as you can see, the view from the common, if you actually went further down the street, is actually fairly well screened anyway by trees, as we saw from the
fixed there. So, if this sort of complies and therefore with all those policies, there will appear to be more than ample parking. Looking at these plans, subject to being convinced that all the trees are going to be replaced. Personally, I don't see that there would be grounds for an objection.
Sorry, I was going to ask about I believe this is the current property, is it not, here, that I'm looking at?
So the one that's outlined in red?
Yes.
Yes, that's correct.
Yeah.
So I'm not convinced that it goes any closer to the boundary line than the existing property anyway. And certainly not that I could tell with the naked eye and the scales that I've been given.
We can only go from the drawings that are in front of us, and
Yeah.
they've been accepted by the district council, then it would be deemed as being acceptable.
Sorry,
Yeah.
my own comments, I don't know my turn, but I am slightly concerned there might be an overlook from the dormer window into the privacy of that garden, so whether that's something we want to express some concern about, I'm not sure.
I'd agree with all the comments so far. I want to just come back to the trees. I know you were going to look at the trees.
Yes,
I
I've
think that is an
just
issue.
been looking here. There's a total number of 4 that are to be removed, and all of the wording states that they will be replaced in compliance with the neighbouring plans, and it doesn't state the location of the species.
Does it say in compliance with the neighbourhood plan?
Yes, it does.
Okay, in that case,
I'm just trying to think about the trees, because there are a lot of trees in front of the house which are on the common land rather than on the property's land. Is that correct?
Yes. So there's the large section to the front, although it is noted on here that what in a sense potentially could be classed as common land is outlined as being part of the plot site. But it's not those trees that are in question that's to be removed, it's actually on the site.
So the red outline is incorrect. The green bit of the red within the red box is actually common land.
Potentially common land,
You're not
yeah. I'm sort of looking at the common register, and some areas of common land have actually been purchased.
Yeah.
Some have a way leave to cross over.
Yeah.
So without delving into the common way leaves and bylaws, I wouldn't be able to answer that question today.
But if there's trees on,
If there's trees on there, but
can't.
the trees that are down to be worked upon are on the site
On
of
the
where,
site, yeah.
there's nothing to do with the access in.
but they would also be able to alter the trees on the common land.
No.
Well, the only slight issue I had would be with the dormer window. I would express concern. Yes, I'd express concern on the window. I would agree with that. Are we agreed, council, with that, that we
I just want to come back on the trees. It's a minor point, but given the fact that the last 2 planning meetings I've been at, we objected to people. There must be some people who took a rank disregard and didn't even decide to put that in. Presumably we have something to say about species, because presumably different species grow at different rates. And
We don't ask for it in the
Okay.
neighbourhood plan, we just ask for pure ratio.
ratio.
Okay.
So we asked, so they're saying they're going to be compliant with the neighbourhood plan. Okay, as long
They
as
do,
they say that.
yeah. But they don't stipulate what species or their location.
So are we, we'll agree that, and tell council that you're minded that we express concern with regard to the dormer window overlooking? Okay, Liz will now go and take the agenda in order. You don't need to stay for the whole meeting.
We'll leave you now, thank
Okay,
you.
yes, right, okay, thank you very much. Thank you for your time.
Okay, thank you.
Good evening.
Good evening.
Okay,
Thank
bye-bye
you.
now. They do make a mention here of this area here of G1, C2, outside site ownership. do, you know, record that these are on the site,
Good.
but they are not, yeah, it says outside front
Yes,
ownership, yeah, on boundary, front garden,
Yes, it gets quite
outside site
quite
ownership.
confusing because with the wayleaves and
Yeah.
people's access across the common.
Yeah. If they wanted to improve their view over the common.
It's certainly not something that they're requesting. I mean, in all honesty, I think that they will have to have that screening to enable the property to
Be,
be accepted.
yeah. Because it is, at the moment, you wouldn't actually know that house would
Yeah.
No.
I drove round, you wouldn't know, would you? I
No.
drove up there,
Yeah.
take a
I,
peek on my way out this afternoon. Yes, that's one does.
I mean, it is,
Yes, you can't tell, can you?
No,
From the
in fact, when I-
it's totally
yeah,
green.
the fact there is a house there.
Yes, you wouldn't actually know.
No.
Also, I assume originally it was on the numbers thing, there would have been a 6 and a 4
I think
that
so.
have been
Yes.
absorbed.
Yes, I think that's what. Yes, I think that's what. That's usually what happens when you suddenly go from peculiar numbering. Yes, it means that there's been other properties and
that
they've
number 2,
disappeared.
there's more houses on that
Yes.
side.
And in terms of the conservation area, because obviously there's some houses slightly further along,
Yeah.
which are, I mean, obviously there's the house which was listed, which was not there, but the other houses along there, I mean, they're not particularly, you know, they're in the conservation area, but you wouldn't necessarily want to consult them.
I think in that location, probably the key there on the conservation area is probably street view. I'd make maybe that
Okay,
street,
right.
because it would cover
Right.
things like the street up there. It would cover
Yeah,
the
I mean,
street
the
view
thing-
and the context.
The thing with the properties that obviously are lesser value,
Yeah,
we say in the area,
Yeah.
they would have been built pre
And
anything
they
like
predate,
we're working on today.
yes.
So it's the case of if they are have substantial works under them or they're demolished and replaced,
Yes.
they have to then comply. Yes.
Yes. As we did double check that it is outside of Greenbelt.
Yes.
Just.
Just
we
within
did.
it.
Yes, I
it's
did
right
ask.
on the edge of the
We just
opposite.
checked that because it doesn't apply in this case because it is outside that. Because of course if it's within the green belt,
Yes.
you have to keep the same footprint
Yeah.
inside. But I did ask Heather to check that it was
It's
just
Over
within.
the road.
It's just over the road, but
Literally over the road.
we did
yeah.
double check that.
Over the road on Crossrail or Bamble Wood?
Opposite. So literally as they're looking out, the green belt starts. If I swing this round, the green belt basically starts here
Yes.
on the opposite side of the road.
So we did
Oh,
that.
there.
So we did actually double check that.
Right. And it wasn't, I didn't see it for my map, I actually went onto the district website, district GIS mapping
Yeah.
and asked for the map layers
Yeah.
and laid over the green belt and it's literally on the opposite
That was the
side.
first thing I wanted to be checked.
Yeah.
The green belt.
I have my
Okay.
moments to do. Right, returning now to the agenda,
Thank you.
try and get through this. So we're going to revert to page 13.
Sorry.
That's all right.
Okay.
Right, on 5/19/2320, that's a certificate of lawfulness, so we don't need to comment. 5/19/2337, which is 10 Dalkeith Road. And there is another application under consideration.
There is, yes. So,
If you just explain that.
okay, so number 10 Dalkeith Road, we've got two separate applications in, which we were looking at them both tonight. One of them, is I think, is doing something different with the dormer.
So which page is that?
Sorry.
Because I don't think there was...
No, they're
Page
not.
rather
It's
confusingly.
on, well, it's because they wanted to list. Okay, page 19.
Yes, so I suggest we do take them together though.
Okay, we can do. So,
Well, the councillors agree it would be easier if we take them
Yep.
together.
Yeah,
Otherwise,
yeah.
we'll get all confused.
they're all on two separate lists.
Yes, which is why they're not on the same pages.
So the one that we've got here first, which is 2337, this one differs from the one on page 19, 2336, in that the 2336 proposal is that the roof accommodation is removed. So there's roof accommodation in 337 but not in 336. But other than that, the applications are exactly the same.
Slightly confusing.
Okay, so the 337, so the higher number, what they want to do is part first floor, part 2-storey rear extension with extension to the habitable roof space.
Yes.
Okay, but 337, so 336, which is one on page 19, is exactly the same, but it's removing the wording of habitable accommodation in the roof space. They're not wanting to actually go into the roof. One of them. So I think they're sort of trying to have two bites.
So they're basically covering their options.
Yes.
But the second one, 3.6, mentions single story, part single, and then it goes part first floor and 2-story. So the second one, 3.6, says part single.
Do you want to look at the drawings?
Yes, I think so.
Why?
Because I think
And roof
otherwise...
height is a single aspect, single story aspect.
Does it mean, therefore, that one has more bedroom than the other?
Yes.
And then that will impact on parking?
Yes.
Because parking in
The key is interesting.
But 4 spaces is enough for up to
I
about...
want to check those 4 spaces.
Right. That is a fair point that I had not thought about.
Quite a 4 spaces is quite crazy.
Yeah.
Yes. We write on them.
So that one is 337.
Right. Which is the one that says it's got the part single.
Which is, yeah.
Four parking places, so this is going to be snug on County Road.
Yeah. Do you want me to show you the house?
Yes, because I just I know Downteeth Road, I walked down there and no, last week, but I got, it's quite snug getting 4 parking spaces on.
Well, if something's parked in 3, you're not going to get something in 2. Not unless it's...
Not that crane.
I reckon I could have a go. I could have a very small car.
Right, so
you need
this
to
house
no, you
here,
wouldn't be able to.
this house here is a big tree.
Yes.
I think that's snug for 4 cars.
I think that's snug for 2.
Yeah. I do.
I don't see
I think if you look, they're removing some of the landscaping at the front.
Which house? This one with the tree?
Nice tree.
The tree stay.
Hope so.
Yeah, it appears to be.
Yeah, looks like it is on
That's
the...
another challenge then.
Yeah, well, yeah, they're taking the fence, the hedge down then.
There's no tree works are proposed.
What about the hedge? Are they taking the hedge down?
I think what they're doing is they're bringing the lawn up to the hedge.
Yeah, so the lawn that you can see next to the red car is pretty much going.
Tell you what, that's a hell of a parking challenge, isn't it?
Still, you're going to get two together there.
Well, you'd sort of have to come out in convoy, wouldn't you? Otherwise, it depends what order you wish to leave.
There's
I'm also not convinced you can get 2 here, to be fair. Unless that's wider than it looks in the angle that we're looking at it.
Yes, so this is the existing here, so you can see that it's much larger, they're reducing this sort of landscaped area at the front here to...
Well, even so, looking at the street scene, it's...
You'd have to take the tree out.
Well...
I don't want them to take the tree out.
You might change your arm.
Try to park, you might actually take the tree out.
Realistically, they're apart from when they go away on holiday and not by car, they're not going to ever park 4 cars like that.
No.
They'll stick at least 1 or 2 on the road because it's just too awkward and difficult for whose car coming
Well, exactly. Otherwise they'd have to go in convoy, wouldn't they?
In all honesty though, the likelihood of this property actually having 4 cars on a permanent basis is probably slim.
How many bedrooms?
It's a family home with...
Well, 2 teenagers, each with a car. Yeah, you soon get there. You soon get there. You can't make less on something.
No.
Well, apart from the parking, what do we think about the...
But they're showing that there's 4 parking spaces on the drawing.
And is that the required number?
Yes.
Yes.
For this section.
Is it the minimum required number for 5 bedrooms, or?
Yes.
Yes.
Yeah, because
6
it should
bedrooms,
be, it's 3.5 and half unallocated, which makes it up to the 4.
3.5 and a half.
Apart from the parking, probably. Probably.
I don't mind them going backwards.
No, I don't mind them going backwards.
No,
And it's in it's not out of, it's in line with the other properties there. It's not, I think, going to have any effect on amenity.
I think, I don't think it's an overdevelopment. I think it fits with the street scene. The only problem I can see with it is that you're never going to get 4 cars in that
Yes. So,
space.
do we want to express concern that parking will be very tight?
Or do we express different opinions for different applications?
We can do, yes.
We could do.
It's the,
Does it make a difference?
Does it make a difference?
yes,
Is it not-
Yes, it does, doesn't it? Yes.
Yeah.
Is that why they've done 2?
quite
So I haven't
possibly.
changed the
Yes, because I don't think there's any difference.
changed the number of bedrooms.
Well,
Yes.
one of them's going up into the roof.
Yes,
Yeah.
yes, so it's the number, so in other words, it's the number of
Bedroom.
bedrooms.
Yeah, this one, it's, oh, there's 6 bedrooms. 237's got 6 bedrooms, I'm sorry, how many is that?
That's 4, I think, that I can spot,
So there
unless
should be
I've
no
missed a
difference
couple.
in the parking.
Yeah.
Oh, no difference between 4 and 6?
No, so 4 or more is what the policy 40 asks for. So it's 4 or more bedrooms. So if you've got 4 bedrooms, you need 3.5/4.
Okay.
If you've got 10 bedrooms, you still have to have 3.5.
If you've got 10 bedrooms, I don't imagine you're parking 10 people, to be fair.
Might be B&B
Yeah,
accommodation.
you're running, Airbnb.
There are one or two.
They're in trouble now.
There is 1 or 2 properties here in Hartford that you can walk past. They seem to have an astonishing number of cars.
Yeah, yes, well, we're familiar with some of those.
Yes, I'm sure we all are.
So why are there 2 planning applications?
Because there's potentially it could be a financial thing. Might be that it would be cheaper,
Yeah.
and they decide to not go with one of them.
Don't really know.
They're entitled to apply for as many
Yes.
applications as they wish.
I mean, is there any? There isn't any issue with amenity with the roof lights. No, it's a single-story aspect. The roof light shouldn't be an issue, should they? No.
I think it's just the parking
I
for
think
me.
it's just.
I think that's
I don't think
problematic.
it's the same for both. So, should we just?
So do you want to express concern over the...
Yes.
Yes,
Yes,
I think
I think
express
we should
concern
mention
because, yes, I think that's
The reality of the 4 parking
Yes.
spaces.
Yes, express concern that it looks, in practical terms, it looks very, very tight to be able to fit in 4 parking spaces.
That's Lewis Hamilton's driving the car.
I mean, if they took the tree down, which absolutely don't want, and we would object to, this is part of my problem. I wonder if actually somebody's come along and looked at this and said, you know what, you'll get 4 parking spaces in there, but that tree will have to come down to the hedge. And they've gone, right, we don't want the tree in the hedge, that's not going to work. So they just sort of horseshoe it in.
Yes.
Although, and I mean, it's not just that, it's literally the trunk. There are, there are roots going on,
Yes,
established
yeah,
roots.
yeah.
You can't just assume that those roots are
But
stable.
it's not uncommon to see applications with ostensibly saying they've got room for X, Y, Z number of parking spaces, and you look at it and think, well, in practical terms, you're going to be pushed, as you say, how are you going to get in and out?
Yeah.
The reality is, if you took the hedge out and dropped the curb, you could probably get 4 in.
Yeah.
But even
But
with the
that's
tree.
But the plans
but
don't
that's
show
not,
that. And we can only go on what the plans are showing us.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay. Yes, I think we're all, I mean,
Yeah.
we're all agreed, express concern.
Okay.
Yes. 5192351 doesn't meet the criteria for consideration. usually just go with that, but if just to reiterate, if anybody sees any application when they feel nonetheless there's something about it they'd like to raise, just feel free to do so. 5192183. This is one that's come back to us after previous refusal. So should we start the other end? Councillor Linda?
Oh, well, I'm happy because they've changed the roof line. I think that was the...
It was the main objection, wasn't it?
So I haven't got a problem with it.
Similarly, that's what planning's for, isn't it?
Yes.
You know, they
Yes.
listen to us, that's good.
That's good. So are we all
Yes.
agreed on that side? Good. Right. 5192358. We don't need to look at that. Nobody wants to. 5192366, which is 32 Ridge Avenue and is on a curve.
Yeah, so this is what is set on a curve in the street seam, which reduces any impact on neighbouring properties, and essentially this building that they're looking to do has got much more expanse at the back. The garage is being lost, but details of 3 parking spaces are being provided. 2 trees are to be removed, but are to be replaced further down the garden.
Are they replacing the trees in the correct
They are,
ratio?
yes, they are.
Good. Yes, I think they were.
They were, yes.
Just like to put on record that we checked these things.
Can I need to
Yes,
raise
please
something
do.
here. Just come to the way it's written. Details of 3 parking spaces being provided. You haven't seen them yet.
Well, they say that there are going to be 3 parking spaces provided, and if the application states that they will be provided, then I have no reason to.
Just got a concern given our previous conversation where they said there was 4, and then we said we're concerned, we don't believe there is 4. I mean, we ought to treat them the same way and actually
Yes,
see what they look like.
You're welcome to look. They may not be quite the same drawing as what we had on the last application, which depicts the parking spaces.
Or we could just put up a picture of how much space they've got in front, couldn't we?
Well, I should tell a lie, they have got them like that. Let's go there.
It's always worth just looking at the street view.
It might be fine, I just think it would be...
No, I think you're quite right. We just want to satisfy ourselves with a street view that you really can get.
That looks to me more realistic.
It looks more
I can see
realistic,
how
it looks okay.
Slightly less complex rather than
Yes.
doing a Rubik's Cube to actually get out.
Yes, yes, it's the ones when you look at it and you think, well, the third car along isn't going to get out, is it?
Okay, so it's this house here,
Yes.
with the Volvo and the little Waymo.
Oh, that's...
Well, then,
So they're showing that there's space to park one here, which probably in reality probably is.
Yes, I think there is.
well, yeah,
Yeah.
you could probably get to where that Mazda is on the right.
Yes.
I recognise the logo on the front. Could be a Vauxhall, I don't know, but it looks like a Mazda.
So I think that.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I'm
that's
happy
fine.
now.
Everybody happy with that?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Thank you. 5192289 70 Piggott Hill Lane.
Proposed is most to rear the property, number 60, 80% back to the same distance as the proposed extension. So due to that, there's a reduction in the impact. Only ground floor to the attached side, or to the attached neighbour, I should say, stepped into the other side. Don't feel will cause any problems. Addition of a garage and ample parking for frontage. No extra bedrooms, just size. No tree work.
It's almost unusual to see a garage actually being added instead of taken away.
Yeah.
Yes, that looks fine to me.
Yeah.
Happy?
Right. 5192302 8th Lilac Way. I thought I knew every street in Hertfordshire, but I didn't know there was a Lilac Way.
It's off East Coast.
Mr. and Mrs. May will be there.
I suspect that the final way that would be a downside.
I think, yes, as you say there, the only thing to consider is whether it's going to give an effect on the adverse effect on the street.
This is a bit of an odd one, I must admit, because when I sort of first of all read it, I thought, oh, okay, that's fine. But they're only taking a small section of the fence out. So there's still going to be sort of a bit of a funny...
What do you mean, you're going to have different types of fence?
No,
No.
I'll show you.
Could you show us?
Yeah, of course. You,
Yeah.
you think to yourself, right, okay, they're bringing the fence out, so they're taking in all of the grass. No, they're only going to be taking in a small section, and then it steps back in again, which was, I found odd. But
Suggest they're trying to put a shed in or something. They've got a specific gap that they need.
So what they're sort of saying is that apparently there's a piece of land they own, which at the moment isn't somehow
yeah.
within the property.
So you can see here, you can see on here the existing fence line, which
Yeah.
goes along here, and they're going to only be, so they're going beyond the rear sort of extension or whatever, and then stepping it out.
Oh, so
Rather than, so there's going to be a sort of a funny,
still have that bit.
so that is going to go the normal distance, and then it's going to step out by 3 metres and then carry on down.
And it definitely is their land.
Definitely isn't it? Yeah.
Oh, is this to no, I thought it was after that one we had last time.
So basically what they're looking to... So at the moment, for some reason that I don't quite get, it's sort of this bit of land that they definitely do own, isn't sitting within their garden.
Yes, correct, yeah.
Yeah.
They may have purchased the extra bit of
Well, they may have,
No,
I
I
mean,
think-
no.
Looking at it, it looks like that they already tend it anyway. So they,
There's little shrubs and stuff.
yeah.
Sort of fence it off. Differently, yeah.
It's odd, but do we have any ability to object?
Well, this is the thing.
Well,
I sort of wasn't
I think
sure
it's
about.
quite, well, put it up, I think it'd be quite, I mean, the only possible thing you could have is on street scene, and I think unless it's going to be a really incongruous,
Particularly as it's at the edge.
I think
It's
it'd be,
not across all the
yes,
streets. and
I think it'd be
stuff.
really difficult unless it was going to be really, really incongruous.
Sort of kind of, it stays in the location where it is at the moment,
That's it.
to beyond the extension here. So essentially from that, say, third
Yeah.
post there, it then will step out by 3 metres and then carries on down.
No.
I mean,
Well, it sort of brings that into the back garden, doesn't it?
Yeah. Well, as long as they own the land.
Well, there's roses, I think, by the looks of things, in the
Yeah,
picture
there's
there, so I think
something.
they tend it anyway,
Yeah.
for the enjoyment of the street.
Yeah, well, yeah, it's just slightly, well, wider by the fence is where it is now.
Maybe they want to create a bigger back garden.
Well, I'm
Like
assuming
young
that what they wanted
kids
to...
or a
Yes,
dog
bigger, but I'm
or-
assuming they want to incorporate it, as long as we're absolutely certain they own the land.
Well, it's detailed on here that they do,
Mm.
so,
Yeah.
Because it doesn't look like... No, I'm just...
but then
I'd be inclined to say no objection to subject to... Say something like subject to confirmation of the land ownership.
Yes, yes.
Well, the councillors agree with that.
yeah.
That's right.
Because it's just slightly odd, isn't it, to have a large piece of... Because it's not uncommon, you get it around sort of areas like House of God, you can get bits of land where it's a bit ambivalent. I mean, they probably do it, they have done it, but I think...
I feel like that's from
I
a
mean,
previous
who
one.
draws up the plan with the boundaries, with the, on the, with the boundary plan?
That's the
from
last
land
one on the
registry.
It comes from, well, this is an OS map, and then the actual outlining is done by the architect.
Oh, but it's not land registry.
No.
So I think if all agreed, can we just put that caveat in?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think what probably happened is probably originally
probably
given
do, but
the
I think
fence
it's-
at all.
I mean, that's the district as well, when they look at it to check, but I think it's, I think given what they're looking to do, I think it behoves us to
It does,
suggest that
it
is
does.
checked.
Because anyone can stick a shrub there and think, well,
That's fine, yes,
No one tendered that.
yes, yes.
Look after that shrub, I mean,
Yes.
have a word to go around it.
Okay, Cokie, I think we can do that then.
Yeah.
That's all agreed.
That's
Oh,
that one.
yeah.
Do some of reading the agenda.
Oh, that's
I don't quite know why you need an architect to do the fence anyway.
Well, not really.
Not really.
Well, you need to draw the drawings up.
Oh, you need to
to
draw the
say,
drawings
yeah,
up,
to get
yes,
plans
you need to do
permission,
it,
you need
yes.
to have.
Okay, yes, so
Scale
it's going to be done
drawing.
scaled, yeah. Then the next one is 5192345, the certificate of lawfulness, we don't want to comment. 5192386 60A Meadway.
Okay, property is to the end of the road, with a substantial flat roof element. Screening to the side of the property on the opposite side to the extension. No extension to the direct neighbour's side. Substantial extensions that the plot can accommodate them. Loss of the garage, but parking and a dropped curb is being added to the frontage. No details of parking capacity, no tree work. I will show you.
That's where I think it is.
Yes, it's yes, is it down near the corner?
So it's Meadway is right by the border
Yes.
of Wheathampstead.
Yes, it is. Yes, but it goes down to Grove Road.
Yeah.
Well, it doesn't go all the way down to Grove Road. It curves round into is it Sibley Avenue? It curves round into down the bottom.
Yeah. They usually got quite decent frontages on them, so I'd imagine what they're doing is they're just getting
I
rid of the
imagine
front
that they do.
walls.
Right, it's this house here. So they're looking, it's going to become quite a substantial property, but we've got this rather large flat roof element, nothing to the side, because it then becomes Laycroft.
Oh, that's it, no problem.
Well, actually, let me
Yes,
go
it goes
on.
into down the bottom. It goes into
So they're building over this flat roof, and then they've currently got access in at the back here.
I mean, actually, arguably, we've probably improved the appearance, won't it? Exactly.
I think, yeah, so this is actually a gate that opens, and then there's the garage at the back here, so they gain access into.
So they're going to lose the garage.
So they're losing the garage, but then there are details of that they're going to turn the frontage, going to drop curb at the frontage, and there's going to be parking at the frontage.
So they're going to turn that front garden into
Not all of it, but yeah.
some of it. Are we satisfied there's enough parking going to be provided?
You're going to have to change, lose the wall, aren't they, in the grass?
Unless they've got a very small car.
But the next door neighbour has done exactly that.
Yeah,
The rest of the
yeah.
street have got
The
it. I
next door
think
neighbour has done exactly that.
they're the anomaly because they've got their garage at the back, so they've actually got the rest of the street is
Yeah,
all
and the one next, the
Yeah.
one has also done the same.
standard.
Done
Everyone
the
has got
same.
a curb.
Done the same.
I think the point is it's definitely doable, but that's not really our job to comment on. Yeah, absolutely, they could put enough space in, and I think it's doable. But I think they need to say so, don't they? I mean, they don't just. It's a bit like not talking about replacing any trees. You just said we're knocking down a garage and we're going to do these other things, and it's like they've ignored the neighbourhood plan. And I think they should. I mean, they'll definitely better do it, but I think we should say we want to see because otherwise we might say, oh yeah, they could fit, whatever it is, the necessary 3 or 4 cars in there, and then they decide that they don't bother with that. They keep that bit and stick, 2 cars in there, and
They
they
show
sell it.
where it's going to be, but they don't sit, they don't draw the.
They don't, yeah, and it is right on the bend. I'd actually, I mean, I know that it's difficult to object to these things unless highway does. However, I'm just wondering about expressing some concern about that. Well, I know the access is round. Well, I suppose the access is round the bend.
Extremely close to that
I'm just
way.
looking, it's very close to the junction.
We objected to one last time we had a planning meeting, very similar, because there was a sharp corner.
I'm just looking at the plan, and it's that I know it's the access is. So where's the access at the moment?
It's round the back. So it's actually round here. That's
Yes.
the one.
I would yes, I would. I think I'm going to express some concern about the proximity of the new parking arrangements to the junction.
Yep.
Because it's not just a bend, it's a junction.
And you know what? Ironically, you can make it safer, but to do that, you have to cut all that screening down,
Yes.
so people could see the car pulling
Well,
out.
yes.
Site
Yes.
cuts, whatever.
And
They
it
won't
may,
want.
and that is
That
something
way.
that highways may or may not comment on, I don't know, but they could do. Because but as it stands, I would be inclined to express some concerns about highway safety and given the proximity of the planned parking to a junction.
And also, I mean, just commenting on, I don't
And
know
the fact
something
that
we
it
can't
doesn't say how
ask,
many
but
parking spaces there's going to be provided.
you could also easily do the front lawn plan, leaving this bit of lawn on the left and do it to this bit of lawn on the right and move that entrance a couple of metres down, and we wouldn't be that concerned about that. Well,
Yeah.
we would probably still be a little bit concerned
Well,
about
I mean, the
that.
entrance where it is, even though, however, I can't tell the distance on that,
Yeah.
but you're going to come out of, you're going to exit there onto a blind bend, aren't you?
Yeah.
I think, looking at it.
Yeah, I mean, there's a fundamental problem. They had a parking area, and
Very
they had a safe exit,
Yeah.
and they've said, we don't like that because we want to make the house bigger and
Yeah.
we want this roof and all very well. And then they put the community in a worse position because we're talking about cyclists and other road users using that corner. I think that's exactly what we ought to be about. So, the more I look at it, the more happy I am with it, actually.
Yeah. I'm not happy with that.
Yeah.
Junction.
Okay,
So,
I've made a
yes.
note.
You have the wording?
I have.
Brilliant.
Yeah, agree with
Yes.
that.
Okay.
Good.
I've got lost.
All right. Okay.
I turned it one too many times and couldn't work out where it started.
Uh, 5/19/2309 doesn't meet criteria. 5/19/2329. That's down the Harpenden House Hotel for what was that?
Yeah.
What was the Harpenden House Hotel? It's any longer, obviously. Eliminated to non-total signs. Temporary, well, I don't think anybody any objections? No, we're all in play on that, yes. Right, now 5/19/2365, I am now going to exit through the door that way.
Come back.
Could somebody come and bring me back when you've deliberated on it?
Okay. Right. I shall get out the relevant drawings for this, as you can imagine there are numerous ones. So this is for the former garage site in Noteshop, which is owned by St Albans District Council. So included is the demolition of the garages and the demolition of the two council properties to facilitate the scheme. So that's Street Team. And then I have got various sort of designs of the look of the property, but essentially they are pretty much all following the same sort of standard style. So that's sort of basically the style of the houses, and that's the style of the bungalows.
Can you show me which one's 46? Sure. Let's go. Doing something to that.
Okay. And we can not possibly actually replicate these drawings. Oh, sorry, here we go. So, right, so number 46 is that one that's just there.
So they're widening this bit, knocking that bit
They're
down
knocking down, I believe they're knocking down these two properties here.
So they're coming
Actually, no, hang on a moment, I'm lying to you, sorry. These two properties here, they are demolishing to enable the site.
It's access I'm really thinking about.
And the access, yes, is coming up here, so number
So it is at 46.
Let me please.
So that's just demolition of the existing single story projection.
Yeah. Let's change that. Right, okay, so here we go. You can see here there's an existing access that goes up to the garage site at the moment. So to enable it to be obviously large enough to comply with modern standards, they're
Yeah.
demolishing this flat roof element to number 46 membership to enable the access to be.
I think it might be
It's
wide,
obviously,
isn't it?
I mean, it is obviously quite narrow, but by demolishing that and taking a section of their frontage, it would make it a much wider access up.
So you're going to have to get rid of that line of hedge probably.
Yeah.
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 Because I have been up there before and driven up there. It was tight.
This is probably quite a good drawing actually to show you. So existing outhouse demolished, so
Right.
it gets to a certain point. So I think what they're doing is that they're demolishing the outhouse,
Yeah.
but then providing a utility room and a dining room
Back.
at the back,
Right.
because of obviously the tenants are losing that
Yeah.
element of their house.
Oh, thanks for that. That makes sense.
And they're the people that objected, aren't they?
We had objections?
I haven't to know. There was only one, wasn't there, Councillor
Yeah.
Cowley, that was on there, which was for.
I think it was 46 that were objecting.
Where did I read?
So it was on 48.
48.
Objecting, yeah.
So they're the neighbour
So
to
they're the
46,
neighbour,
I assume.
So then they'll be the other side of it, but
Yeah.
they'll get the traffic going past them.
Yeah. Can I ask, in terms of the trees, it says that the proposal doesn't meet the objectives. How many trees short are they? 'Cause they're taking out a lot of them. But I was just working out if they were...
Yeah.
18 trees, 4 tree bricks and a hedgerow are to be removed with the instructions.
Only 9, I think,
No.
in their place.
That's
Yeah.
far.
That's not...
No. Do we want to shoot the whole thing down because of that just one policy, or do we want to approve the housing but express concern about the trees? And we can phrase it differently. We can say we approve the style of the building, however,
Yeah.
we refuse because.
It would have been nice to see the district council pay attention to the policies of the neighbourhood.
I was about to say that the district council not paying attention to the neighbourhood plan is not good messaging.
No, it isn't. So it would be a stronger message to refuse.
Yeah.
But,
I think we should
I mean, do we want to refuse full stop and stop looking at these, or do we want to say anything positive about the
I suppose
housing they want?
it's unusual, since I've been sitting in the planning committee, to see bungalows being built.
Yes, it is. Yes, it is.
That's a fair comment. That's a fair comment.
Because obviously, it enables people who obviously are less mobile, can't manage stairs, to stay within the building.
I mean, broadly, I think it's a good use of a brownfield site. And I think if it had addressed the problems with the trees, either by replanting here or by proposing to plant trees on another bit of district council land, then I wouldn't have an objection to it. But I think, given that they are only meeting a quarter of the number of trees that they would need to adhere with the neighbourhood plan that government encourage us to have, and that they listen to when making their decisions on permitting or not permitting.
Yeah.
I would think that them taking another look at it wouldn't be the worst thing, shall we say.
I would agree with that. I mean, I think overall, I think we do have to have a bit of flexibility. I like the way Matt talked about putting some trees somewhere else. I think if we have a 2-for-1 rule for some massive house in Cross Lanes, which is just better bedrooms, where that's kind of, I think that's reasonable where there's a space, and here we're trying to provide space for these units of social housing. So to say you've got to put 27 trees in, I would also think there's kind of an amenity thing for them, that you end up with trees that overshadow the people and let them see some light or something would be useful. So I don't think we want to be as rigorous as saying in this designated area you must put 27 more trees in. However, I do think absolutely I agree with the other councillors that we must make district council as aware as we've done for any private developers that we have a neighbourhood plan and they ought to consider it if they come up with something that meets our direction, you know, rather than actually saying you must put 27 houses. That's a sort of level of impracticality given the scale of the properties, but I think it'd be something that I think the proposal of having the extra trees, keeping the 9 that they've talked about, and the extra trees put somewhere close by would be useful.
Yeah, I mean, I think agree with Paul there, really. If you were to insist on the 27 trees, how many trees should it have in the local plan?
So yeah, it should be another. Well, if we're doing 2 for 1, we're losing. How many are we losing?
It should be
36
in total.
Should be 36 trees. Yeah.
Well, there's going to be no room for it.
Yeah.
I mean, you might as well just plant a forest.
I think the difficulty in a sense is that this is already an open site, you know, it's an open, empty site, so that's why there's so many trees that are to be removed, because of their self-sets and such like, and it's an open site that's to be developed with dwellings, so I think that's why so many are being lost, because it is an open
Is
site.
the intention of the local plan with trees that it has to be religiously adhered to?
What, our neighbourhood plan?
Yeah.
Well, by the letter of the neighbourhood plan, yes. There doesn't seem to be any wording offering any element of flexibility. But I think from what you're saying in relation to this, it's maybe...
Because in effect what you're saying is that if there isn't all the trees put in, it's got to go, but then that probably means the end of the development.
Yeah.
But just on that, it would for a private developer, but for a district council which owns, I don't know about within the parameters of Harpenden, but it owns a considerable amount of land across the district. It's not, I don't think, as inconceivable that they could have room for 27 trees somewhere else. And given that we want to, we've got our climate emergency in St Albans and we want to be greener, I think we should be pushing back quite firmly on the district council with tree replacement and things like that on this development.
So it's the wording that we need. Well, first of all, we need the decision. Are we refusing? What do we feel on refusal as opposed to express concern?
I couldn't refuse something that has so many advantages for local people. So I mean, you know, if it came to it in the end and they said it's these 10 houses or 27 trees, I'd take the 10 houses. I just think we should use our neighbourhood plan to try and get 27 more trees or something equivalent to it.
Which is what you were saying.
Yeah.
So we need wording.
Okay, so do you want to work along the along the basis of saying that we support the application, or support the scheme in principle, and we can sort of highlight how we like to see that there is the difference in dwelling size, the dwelling mix on the site, the good use of the brownfield site. However, we are, you know, expressing concerns that the application does not appear to meet the criteria of ESB 17. Because of just reading it here, it does actually stipulate that the replacement trees must be on the site.
I think the term might be does not recognise the aspirations or whatever of that part, in the sense of it's not saying we may be recognising. I mean, I think now if I was redrafting the neighbourhood plan, whether the high street actually always insisting it has to be on the site, and 2 to 1 is in this example you can see is a bit too extreme. But it's clearly what we're trying to achieve there. And if they'd have recognised, or they do in their next submission, the issue, state it's impossible, as you say, to put 27 more trees on there and come up with something that, as a response, as I say, recognition, then I would be happy with it completely.
Can we put something on there about it being the district council? We wonder whether it would be possible for them to fulfil this by putting trees on other land owned by the district council in compensation or something. Yeah, preferably.
It doesn't have to be.
Could do.
Because of
Yeah, I mean, it's
CO2
kind of
movements
probably
around
done.
the earth, you know.
Yeah, probably. I think it's a case of that we're asking for it to be on the site, you know, whether what you have them here or Redbourne or somewhere else is, I don't think it's missing the point, I guess, but.
So what have you got written down last time?
Well, I haven't written down, I'm
Right.
going on the basis of what I've said before.
I
so,
like what you said
yeah,
before.
so essentially we said that we are in support of the application,
Yes.
the proposals for this, with the mixed dwellings on the
Yes.
site,
Yeah.
and the good use of the brownfield site. However,
Yeah.
expressed concern that the district council does not, or has not, has not fulfilled the requirements of ESD 14 in relation to trees and hedges.
Yeah.
I mean, it's worth just reminding people it hasn't been met H10, that big table where we had a set of sites we were looking to develop, you know, which the garage at Oakshott is mentioned, and it says minimum number of dwellings 7, and they're talking about 10. So one thing, they're not meeting one part of the neighbourhood plan, but another big quite substantial bit of table where it says Oakshott. There is a conflict, is what I'm saying. If we were to reject it, we'd be conflicting between different parts of the neighbourhood plan. I think we don't do that.
I mean, to be fair as well, though, I do think you could get more trees on this site, even if it was only a couple more. There's a large amount of garden there that doesn't have any trees in it, and these two have got limited numbers.
Yeah, I think they should go back and consider that and
The site should be reviewed for further
review it.
planting.
Yeah. Agree.
Okay?
So are we, just to confirm, we're happy to express concern rather than to recommend to you?
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay. And you're happy-ish with?
Yeah, that's fine. Thank you.
Could you just minute that I left the room?
Absolutely, yes, I have
And
made a note.
Julie came back again.
Yeah, I've made a note.
Okay, so moving on to I'll let you just put the papers
Yeah,
there.
sorry. Okay.
2352 at 2 Broadstone Road. It's a semi-detached two-bedroom house in the boundary.
Okay, so corner plot at the end of the road, stroke on the bend, no nearby house which will cause effect, 2 parking spaces are allocated per plot, following similar style to the neighbours, a semi-detached pair.
I can't see a reason to object.
No, and a provision of smaller properties, 2 bedrooms, is something that the neighbourhood plan would welcome and support. So everybody happy with that?
Could I just,
Yes, of
check on that there is no change in access, as in, because of the fact it's on a bend again, just what we came into before. If you're still going in and out of the same place, then I've got no problem, because it was...
So there is, let's just double check, I'm very sure that there is a new access being put in.
Look at that.
Yes, so there is actually a new access that's being put in at the front of the existing property. But the new property will use the garage and access which is further down. I'll show you.
I think just because we had a problem with the other one.
Yes, we just want to double check.
Consistent.
Yes, we want to be consistent and to be sure in our own mind that it is, we think it's a safe access.
That's which way the bend in the road goes as well.
Always take it there, all at the top.
Because I know it is, it's right at the top.
Okay, so this is the house in question here. So they've currently got this garage at the back with this parking space here for 2. So what they're proposing to do is to develop this with a further, further semi-detached element, and then they will be putting in an access, a dropped curb, just here, next to the existing.
So not on the bend.
Well, it's a curve.
It's a curve.
I don't have a problem with that.
No, because I walk down there quite often, it's when you would curve and it's going to be an obscured view, so you can't see.
No, that's different to the other one, that's fine.
That's okay, I think.
Yeah.
Almost going to be sort of appear almost like a continuation of the neighbours.
Yeah.
Right
Yeah.
away.
Yeah,
That's all right.
I think.
Okay,
And it's quite a
yeah.
slow bend anyway.
Okay, thank you.
You wouldn't be coming around that bend anymore. But,
We've done Boundville, so we can go on to 519-2431, which is at Highfirth Crescent.
Okay, essentially building back on the footprint, they're filling in the gaps to the side. So I think there's a wooden little rear extension on the property that they're filling in the gap by coming in line with. Neighbouring properties extend further back. The garage is being lost, but 2 parking spaces to the frontage, no tree work.
And that's within the number of bedrooms, isn't it?
It
It meets
is,
the requirements, yes.
Okay.
And they're reasonably big plots on Highfirth.
Yeah.
it's an area with quite hefty houses.
Yeah.
Funny enough, this is Belinda's old house.
Yes, I hadn't realised they'd moved. Then the penny suddenly dropped, they'd moved. Yes, I know
used to
that.
work here, they've moved back
Yes,
to... they've
I knew it
moved
was
to
their
Suffolk.
old house. Yes.
Yeah.
Gosh, we've got to do
No, you haven't.
No,
He's still, they've got a flat. So
You've
he's
actually
still
got to do with planning.
consulting
One of the back of
decisions.
Springs volunteers.
Yeah. So we haven't lost his equity.
But they moved. But yes, it's that, and it's actually biggish plot.
It is,
Yeah.
yeah.
So are we all okay? Yes,
Yeah.
thank you. 519-2432 doesn't meet the criteria for consideration, and same applies to 519-2442, 2482, 2485, and then moving on to 519-2240, which is demolition of a garage to be replaced by another garage at 3 Rockhamsted Avenue, so it's a replacement single-storey garage.
Yes, so it's basically the existing garage is quite small and is probably failing, I would say, potentially interiorly. So they're looking to replace the garage with a slightly larger one and are going to be joining it to the property.
Yes.
Which matches them in.
So you've got the flats on them.
So as you go up the hill,
Yeah.
that's fine.
I think it's in keeping, which is,
Yeah.
I think,
Looks exactly the
yes,
same.
it looks exactly the same. I think the one thing that we'll consider just on that location is that it is no materials different from the street scene, and it looks absolutely sort of more or less like. Yeah. So everybody okay on
Yep,
that? Yeah,
okay.
thank you. 519-2294 and 519-2427 we don't need to look at. 519-2437 at 14 Churchfield, which is 2-storey front and single-storey extension with a raising of the ridge height to incorporate the loft conversion. So if we have a quick look at this one.
Okay, so we've got raising of the ridge height with the roof, with the roof form taking a pitched appearance which matches the neighbouring properties within the street. They're converting the conservatory into a room, so it's essentially the same footprint, which is now a brick-built structure. Bedroom at first floor level is extending over the front extension. No other changes to the first floor. No tree work and 2 parking spaces.
Yes, that's fine.
Direct number 10.
5192336. Oh, we've looked at that. We've done that one. So 5192432, 2442, 2482 and 2485. We don't need to look at them unless anybody's got anything to say. Right, fine.
So I think
Did you
you're
guys
going
go on
backwards.
the same
I'm going
page?
backwards, oh dear. I've had a long day.
Sorry, I was thinking about this.
Page
I'm just
20.
thinking that rings a bell.
Page 20.
I'm trying page 20, it does go backwards. So we need to look at 2497 and 2430, 2356, which is looking at the land adjacent to 6 High Elms.
Okay, so this site we've seen a few times before actually for replacement dwellings. So this proposal is actually a reduced scheme from the approved application in 2015. So I'm assuming that because we didn't build it, we're now 4 years on, that has expired. So they've come back with a much smaller scheme. The roof accommodation has been removed and the footprint has been reduced, more modest than the existing dwelling. So it's actually subservient to the existing dwelling, whereas the other one was probably on a par, larger. Ample parking and the trees are to be removed but replaced to a higher number than the 2-to-1 ratio.
That's good, isn't it?
Makes up for some of those on no shop.
So, yes. Did you have...
No,
Oh, just that, all right.
And I was going to say they're knocking it down and putting something smaller.
No,
it's
so
not.
this is quite a large plot, so
Okay.
this land adjacent to, we've seen applications, several
Oh,
applications
I
for
see.
replacement back and
Yes.
forward over the
It's
years.
on the side.
So that, because it didn't build it, it's obviously expired, they have 3 years to build it,
I'm with you.
and what they're asking to put in place is now much smaller.
It's quite a smaller scheme.
Given the area, does it a smaller property fit with the street scheme?
Yeah, High Elms, although they're substantial properties, there's a real eclectic
There are
style
mix
mix.
on High Elms.
Yeah.
Yes,
I'm not familiar with the specific road, but
yes,
I
and
know
then,
the
yes,
area.
but the small...
It is a cul-de-sac.
It's a cul-de-sac. It's sort of like, it's a cul-de-sac in almost in a sort of square with a...
Yes,
Yes.
it's sort of kind of,
Yes.
some properties step a long way back, some step further forward, some,
So it's mixed.
Yeah.
Yes.
I think I went down there once.
Deliberately or?
So are we all okay with that?
Yeah.
Yes. Page 21, 5192455 Field Close, which is Southdown area. Yes.
Okay, so they're looking to build along the boundary line side at the end of the street where there are no neighbours, extending at the ground floor level to the rear, and stepping in at the first floor level to reduce the impact. The garage on one parking space, and I question if that's sufficient, and no tree break.
How many bedrooms is it going up to?
4.
That's 3 parking spaces, assuming it's a double garage, or 2 if it's not.
That they've got sufficient parking space.
Well, no, it
No,
is
that's not- no.
insufficient,
It
really.
is insufficient,
Yeah.
isn't it? It's not really, it doesn't meet the parking criteria.
Considering it is quite a tight, I'll show you. I
Yes,
don't
it's
know
quite a
about this
small-
one.
yes.
And it's quite a tight street.
It is quite a stride, it's quite a, it's off Grove Road, it's quite tight.
So it's actually, so it's this property here, and they have purely a garage, and potentially space at the front.
Is that the
So
garage?
they have no parking space on it. Here.
Oh, that's,
We done an argument about the extension being a little bit on the large
oh,
side.
yes, it's a very constrained plot, isn't it?
Yeah.
There's a lot of parking around the back, isn't there?
So it's that garage
That garage
plus,
there, plus, if
that.
by the looks of things, there's also that Volvo parked
yeah.
in front of that one, so there's potentially one parking space there.
But there's nowhere else you could park on that
No.
plot.
It's,
They're not affecting anyone on the left side, are they?
no.
No.
I mean, it is a constrained plot, but they're not going to, well, I can see, extend it quite.
It's just of how you feel about the parking side
It
of
is
things,
really.
really.
Quite tight, isn't it?
Is the perspective of the house altered by the screen? Because it looks very...
They are like that.
They're
If
very-
you look,
yeah.
see, look, I've just moved and they are
Yes.
quite what? Looking houses, they're all like it.
Yes, they are.
Even on the opposite side there.
I think you could make an argument about street scene, given that they all look near identical, with
I
the
think
exception of some porches.
Because if it's on the end, it's sort of whether or not the changing of the style would have such an impact.
Some houses, when extended, are on the close. It's not.
I mean, the big concern is the parking, isn't it?
And there's been one obviously third house in that's obviously been.
Yeah.
This picture is 10 years old, so who's to say that there hasn't been further development? But I think looking at how tightly packed the houses are, that I think you need to have a house on the end to enable you to actually to do anything, because if you cause such terrific impact on your neighbours if you were looking to do
Well,
anything like
you
that.
don't. Yes, I mean because you'd actually be creating a terrace, wouldn't you?
Yeah.
Windows.
I mean, the worst thing for that street scene is that ghastly caravan. That's nothing to do with that, but I mean, that is much uglier than anything else. I mean,
You're obviously not a caravan.
I'm not, generally, but that was a particularly ugly caravan from right outside the front of
Yes, you wouldn't want that opposite, would you?
Well, I
the
think.
parking, I don't think it's a problem. You see there, you've got the car,
Yeah.
you've got the red car, that's probably going to be their car as well, as long as you can get those two cars.
I think on balance it's okay. Yes.
It's not that pretty a street scene anyway. I'm not at all to understand, because, you know, the street scenes are street scenes, and that is,
Yes.
you know.
I think. Look, it's a bit tight up there. I suspect it's a road you can probably usually get parked on as well. So I think on balance it's okay.
Okay, no objection?
Yeah, no objection.
Oh, no.
Grudgingly.
So then you go on to 5192470, 19 Aldwick Road. There's a lot going on in the same area this week, isn't
That's
there?
what I think. But Harpenden South, they appear to be building a lot of things in Harpenden South.
You know, and that's
Yeah,
the
really
one
do.
area of it. So,
Probably now there's another school finally, they can actually be worth actually expanding and get them into it. Just a thought.
well, it's quite a modest extension.
Yeah, so
isn't it?
small,
Yes.
small front extension to the lounge and the porch area. The rear extension fills the gap created by the existing playroom elevation and extends in line with the playroom elevation. Garage is loft. Garage loft, but parking retained to the frontage. No tree work.
So are they losing a space, or have they got enough spaces? Well, they're obviously losing one because they're losing a garage. Have they got enough frontage for?
I believe they have, but
I think
they're not adding any extra bedrooms or anything.
No, so it's okay. Yes, and they're quite big frontages.
Oh.
Those houses along all the. I can't remember.
Quite wide.
Yes.
Yes, they're quite wide, the frontages along all the. I just thought this is actually a proper street crossing. Miles away. So I think it should be okay. 5192506, we don't need to comment. similarly for 2286 and 2451. Oh, we're nearly at the end of it. 519 2481.
Okay, this is for number 9 High Street, which is the Plugonitis. I'm assuming they're either having a rebranding or it's changing companies. I'm not quite sure, because they're essentially changing the exact same signage, the advertisement that we've got at the moment, exactly the same style, just with a different name.
Oh, it's not going to be Plugonitis
It's
anymore.
going to be called the Wheat Sheaf.
Oh, so it's going a major.
So,
Nice of you to plug in this.
What I think towards Plugonitis.
I don't know. See, I'm not sure. So yes, this is kind of good photograph here that you can see. It's changing.
Oh, that's an improvement.
Perhaps naming it after something you don't want to find in your food is not
Plugging my lettuce, yeah.
I've never eaten there, but...
No, I haven't. No.
I've tried to eat there, but usually it takes about 2 hours to get
Well, I was going to say, it's notorious for its slow service, isn't it?
Yeah, I've once actually been there for a whole hour while my daughter was doing some dancing a long time ago with Italy, and I ordered something that never turned up. By the time the hour was up, I had to go to my daughter. I don't know if they ever brought food out.
Did you pay for it? I mean, I don't know, but I know it has a name for being unbelievably sluggish.
Yes.
I think somebody was noisy. Yes, I don't know whether, because they do cocktails, don't they?
It's very late night.
It's very late night, is it? Yeah.
I think it's not maybe...
But however, I think we have an objection.
Not ADR.
In fact, we all think into this room. I think it's distasteful name. And then 5192508, we don't need to. Then there's the weekly list of decisions, which is just for noting. There are lots of them. I guess. Any tree works?
There are.
Tree works, yes, here we go. Oh yes, I've just tree works. I don't think there's anything. Quite free at 3 Thatching Green, I guess that's for the tree officer.
also quite a woody area around
Yeah.
Hatching Green, so 3 is probably not unconsidered.
Okay. I will declare the meeting closed at 1 minute past 9.